tell the story. I think I saw a ghost one time. And I was going, well, I want to tell the story of the glove. She said, no, you got to tell us over. And I want to say to all of y'all, in consideration of tonight, may the stories begin. Wow, these lights are bright. I can't see you. I will tell you this story in my daddy's words, in his voice, in his mannerisms. My cousin said my daddy was a great listener, but he didn't know how to finish any story he ever told. My cousin said, David, we were listening to him telling this joke, and we were wondering to ourselves, is this where I was supposed to laugh? In his words. I think I saw a ghost one night down at the corner, A&P. I went to get a gallon of milk, a dozen eggs, and a little bacon to cook. As I approached the store, this man was standing at the entrance. And I was thinking to myself, you can't stand there. That's where old Jake always sits. Old Jake was a blind man who had a percussion guitar and would strum the equivalent of half a verse because he could never remember the whole tune to play. And he had an old boxer dog that would lay by him and a tin cup set on the back of that dog named Flick. And I wanted to tell him, you can't be there. They're going to be here. As I approached, I saw him reach out and touch one of the other customers. And he said to them, it's okay. The person almost looked a little confused, said thank you, and walked into the store. Another person came up, and the same thing happened. Touch, it's okay. I decided I should monitor this activity. It lasted forever. It might have only been an hour. And everybody was touched and said, it's okay. A little girl and her daddy comes running up. She goes, Daddy, Daddy, look, there's an angel at the front door. Look, you can see him. And she ran up and grabbed his hand. He looked down and smiled at her and reached over to the dad and put his hand on his dad's shoulder and said, it's okay. A woman came up, heels and click, and she's running to the store, all dressed up, getting out of her fine Cadillac. Why, don't you touch me, you dirty old man. I don't let anybody touch me. As she went by, and he was wanting to reach out, and he still said, it's okay. An old woman came by, and she says, why, Jake, what are you doing here? You look so young. And look at your blue eyes. You are so good looking. Why, Jake? And he touched you. And he said, it's okay. She goes, oh, I know it's okay. Because shortly, you and I will be together. This went on. Finally, I think it might have been my turn. And I walked up, not sure what to do or what to say, because I'd seen everybody. He reached over, and he touched my shoulder, and he said, it's okay. My shoulders began to sag. Fears, dreads, worries, frustrations seemed to just wash out of me. The times that I walked out of that store and didn't throw a quarter into old Jake's tin cup was gone. The guilt I felt was gone. And I walked in a daze into the A&P. Through the store, there was many I was walking with our carts, having a hard time to remember why we were there. When I came out of the store, the man that was standing there was gone. but down on the sidewalk was a shiny tin cup. The next morning, I caught the bus to go to town, to go to work. As I was sitting there, these ladies were talking, and they were saying, "Did you hear about the old black man that used to sit in front of the A&P? Did you hear about him? Yesterday morning, he had passed away, and his dog Flake had crawled up on beside him and had passed away too." Now wait. I was at the store last night. That was yesterday morning. I found out. The church behind the MP found out and decided that Jake and Flake could be buried together in their memorial garden in the back. Now I tell you, many times in my life I've wondered, have I ever seen a ghost? Is there a truth and a reality to seeing ghosts? This I can tell you without a shadow of doubt. For months afterwards, when I would go to MP and I'd walk around in that store, I would look over and see somebody that had been touched by that man. And we grin and we smile at each other, and we would say to each other as we passed each other in the store, "It's okay." Thank you very much.